Henry Solomon was born in London in 1794 and trained to be a watchmaker. In 1821 he came to Brighton, where he married Martha, daughter of Emmanuel Hyman Cohen, a schoolmaster who owned two schools. In 1822, Solomon was appointed Inspector of Post Horse Duty at an annual salary of £50. He also worked as Superintendent of Hackney Carriages, Bathing Machines and Pleasure Boats in 1823, Superintendent responsible for the watering of roads in 1826, and Inspector of Gas Lighting in 1827. He was Brighton Synagogue's Vice President and became Brighton's first Chief Constable in 1832. He was in charge of 31 officers for a population of 47,000 and was receiving an annual salary of £200 plus £80 in perks in 1838. On the 13th of March 1844, police are called to St James Street in Kemp Town to reports of the theft of a roll of carpet. They got to the corner of High Street and St James Street and arrested 23-year-old John Lawrence, who they took back to the police station, which was in the basement of the Brighton Town Hall. The main office was at the back of the building and was only 12 feet square. Inside it was a desk, table, sleeping chair and fireplace. At around 8 p.m, Lawrence, a constable, 3 other people and Solomon were together in the cramped office. Lawrence appeared agitated and demanded to be given a knife to kill himself. Lawrence is seated in front of Solomon's fireplace to calm himself down before being questioned further. According to the annual register for 1844, the most sudden and wanted murder occurred after Mr. Solomon turned to talk to another person. Lawrence had asked for a knife to cut his own throat as life was a burden to him, and presently, springing to the fireplace, he seized the poker and felled the chief constable to the ground with a blow to the head. Lawrence hit Solomon on his right temple and says he hopes that Solomon will die so that he is sentenced to hang. Lawrence is detained in the station's holding cells to stand his preliminary trial on the following day, while 2 surgeons fight for Henry Solomon's life at his home, which was either 23 Castle Square or an address in Princes Street. I've got a record of him living at 23 Castle Square, but one account does say Princes Street. The attack was with such force that the poker bent and smashed his skull, and Mr. Solomon died the next day surrounded by his wife and 9 children. He is believed to be the only chief constable ever to be murdered in his own office. An inquest was held and he had a public funeral which was attended by thousands of mourners before being buried in Florence Road Cemetery 2 days later. The town set up a fund to support his widow and children. £500 was given by the town, 50 guineas by the Brighton Hebrew congregation, and £50 along with a personal letter of condolence to the family by Queen Victoria. A total of £1,030.70 was raised, which is just over £160,000 in today's money. On March 20th, 1844, the main trial of Lawrence was held. A plea of insanity was offered by his defence, who said that his lack of motive and visible agitation supports this claim. However, the judge told the jury that even though he wanted to end his own life, that's not a reason for him to end another's trying to achieve this. Lawrence said he had hit Solomon as an impulse, and if he had been able to think about it for one more moment, he would not have done it. He added that he didn't have any malice towards Solomon and was drunk at the time and didn't know where he was about. As there were 4 witnesses and a confession, he was convicted and given the death penalty. The trial took 3 hours and the jury was out for 12 minutes. He was taken to Horsham Prison and refused all further opportunity to justify his actions, even when parting from his mother the last time. On 6th of April 1844, he was the last person to be publicly hung there in front of thousands of witnesses. In his last words, he said his last judgment will be made by God, who may give him grace as a sinner. After his death, the face of Lawrence was cast, his body and the cast were displayed and could be seen by paying a fee.